Everything, everything you need, God will provide. If you serve Him, love Him, pray to Him, hug Him, kiss Him, tell Him you love Him. He's just as close to you as you are to your wife or your brothers or your sisters or your aunts and uncles. He knows you even better than they know. You might have an aunt that took care of you your whole life, changed your diapers all the way up, put the veil over your head when you got married. Dressed in white. That's one thing. I had people say that to me. How can you dress in white and be married? I don't know. It wants to give me a hassle all of a sudden. I got a hassle with my game all of a sudden. And he says, I had relatives ask me that. How can you get married in white? I mean, you guys went together for 4.5 years before you got married. I says, that is just a metaphor. Because what is white about us and why we can wear white on our wedding is because we went to confession and our sins are now as pure as white snow. We have been forgiven by God. That's our faith. That's the Catholic faith. It was once the only faith. But we know what happened over the years. It's a chess game. Sometimes there's good moves and sometimes there's bad moves. God never makes a move. He knows, mistake. He knows everything that's happened. He's got a plan. He can make it look like you're winning, and right at the end, just win. Kick your king right over. Checkmate. And laugh at you. Or maybe shake his head saying, hey, you played a good game though. But you ain't gonna beat me. And I know every move there is to make. Whatever move you make, 10 other moves cry out for me to make. I don't think in just one move. I think in 12. I'll end it in 13, but I can do it in 12. And it's what Jesus said when he played a game, Satan or Lucifer, angel of light. How beautiful was this angel? I don't want to know what happened. I don't want to know how beautiful he was. Because what he is now is God shaking his head saying, what am I going to do? He's committing suicide. Spiritual suicide. Just to prove a point. I'll go down in a flame of fire so God can remember my objection to his pollywogness forever. He's going to scar Jesus with a stab wound like that. And God's backing me up. He said, yeah, Bill, you're right on. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it's trying to do. So what are we to do it for? We have to realize that God's everywhere. Jesus is everywhere. They're in charge. Satan's not in charge. He might think he is, but he's not. Nothing happens unless God wills it to happen. If you love him and serve him and keep yourself holy, go to confession and communion and say your prayers and don't glance at the jelly bellies, or what you want to call them. Because that's what they mostly look like nowadays. They're so hedonistic and they're into their pleasure, they eat themselves into big fat women. You look Go every place. Very rarely do you see a woman that fit. They're all big, roly-poly, just jumped out of the house to go to the store type women. Bible women are hefty like that. But these people are lethargic and lazy as they move. You can see it. You move aside from my big fat butt. And I'm guilty too. I weighed 353 pounds when God said, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wake up, man. What's going on here? What are you doing? Are you staying on the couch? Well, you had a lot of injuries. Okay, I remember now. I'm remembering it. That's why I'm bringing it about. Okay, now I'm remembering what happened. Why did I get so heavy? When I was running with the deer, working like a bull in a china closet, ripping everything apart, framing things up. Wasn't until I got my wood shop that I started simmering down and getting patience, which I don't have, and I'm praying very deeply for. And I'm noticing that it's coming around. I'm getting better and better and better. Line upon line, here a little, there a little. Then finally you got your personality that you can dwell with and portray. Poise. Have godly poise. You want to look like God? Be poised. Be aware. Don't be a 24/7 jokester. People like a joke. People like humor. But they like to know that they're talking to somebody that has it together a little bit. And that's what I hope I'm with you, whoever's watching this. I've come a long ways on the road I want. You watch my films, they'll tell you about everything, mainly what happened to me as I was growing up, what I was exposed to, how I reacted, and then God came into my life during a typhoon in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Oh, by the way, there's no atheists on top of a 50-foot wave, or as much as there is atheists in foxholes. You know, did I put that right? Maybe I'm not communicating. The saying is there are no atheists in foxholes during a war. Well, there's no atheists on top of 50-foot waves with a ship with a flat bottom. I mean, we were corked in the ocean the way that typhoon tossed us around for 13 days. Ugh. Oranges and crackers and right back up. Couldn't even sleep in the air conditioning because I was puking up all over the place. So I had to go up, lay on the deck. And when you laid on the deck, you're up the Saigon River, and all you can smell is diesel fuel and Agent Orange. Agent Orange so heavy it made your eyes water, like tear gas. I've been in tear gas. They put us in that boot camp. Same thing. Agent Orange and tear gas. You get a good dose of it, it's worse. I don't remember coughing and choking and hacking with tear gas. I just remember I couldn't see a dang thing. Maybe, I just remember that feeling. That's the type of feeling you get when you're in the middle of diesel fuel and Agent Orange. And you can't go down into the full solar, go down into your air-conditioned compartment. The engine's running on the ship. It's pumping the air conditioner. It's nice and cool. On the deck, it's 105. In there, it's 80. Or, I don't think they take it down. They don't want you to get shocked when you walk into the weather, because you have to walk around the ship to do your chores. You got your stations you have to go to. The whole ship isn't air conditioned. It would have been nice if it was, but it's not. It wasn't. Ductwork for something like that would take up a lot of space, and they needed every inch they could get. They had I think it was 5,000 rockets we loaded up every time we went into Canberra. Somebody says we could hold 10,000. I don't know. I thought it was 5. I don't know. I'd be really pooped if it was 10,000. But we were there for days. We had lights around our boat. And we had to throw hand grenades over the side randomly in case we saw bubbles or anything. Hand grenade. Boom! Blow their air drums. Unless they had some way of the percussion. Maybe they did. Maybe they invented a way that percussion's done in the body. But we didn't get blown up. Because that's what they do. They put a depth charge on you. You head up on the river. You want to see 5,000 rockets go up. You want to, on the 4th of July, have it all timed like they did to 9/11. Yeah, let's go 9/11 with them. Call emergency. Your Empire State Building is collapsed to the ground. Lucky it wasn't that. It was the Twin Towers. But I wonder if it would have been the New York State Building. Would they build a new one? I don't know. New York State? Empire State Building? That thing is huge. I was standing at the bottom. There's no way you can't even see the top because it tapers in as you're looking up. The building goes like this. You can't see the top. That's how far up it is. I've been to the top, though. I walked around, looked out over the wall. A lot of people jump from that thing. Dude, man, imagine that being that crazy to jump from a building that high. They got it all encaged and everything. You have to have wire cutters and do it real quick. You have to be on the ball to do it. So chances are you weren't delirious jumping off the side of the building. If you calculate it, you could probably still do it. Because there's people that climb buildings like that. People don't know what they're doing, and so they know they're up in the 24th story, and they keep going. There's all kinds of strange people in this world, but I'm talking about just the normal, common person. Like myself, I ran with the deer, I went to college, I did everything human beings do. If I hadn't have found Jesus, I would have never done any of them. Any of them. Went to college, went through that Jezebel look. Some nice looking women had their eyeball on me. And I was married. And I was faithful. My wife was beautiful anyways. I don't need anybody more prettier than her. I loved her. She was my wife. I was faithful to her. Oh, it's just a normal. I've got a system here. I'm trying to record. I'm going to be subject to all of a sudden there's complications popping up, this and that. I did make it a little bit more presentable, didn't I? Now, if somebody had a clip and it was, you opened it up like, say one of those clips you put those chips in. You can have 128 gigabytes in a chip, but it comes in a little case, right? That little case you have. If I took and put that case and made it black, this is what I'm thinking of doing. To substitute this right now, because I'm going to I have other glasses I want to do this to, and make it on the other side that it's cushioned. So when it's cushioned, it's on your face, it's cushioned. See, I can go like this, watch. It pops right into my nose, right? But this is cushioning the embedding. It still embeds a little. Not as much, though. Deep. They have deep embedding when you don't have this cushion between your glasses and your eyebrows. where they come together. You put a cushion there. And it lifts, it keeps the glasses on, right where you want them. See? Now, if you get the ones that have that round thing that go around, you sweat, and they slide down your nose. The next thing you know, they're at the end of your nose. You're looking at them like trying to see things, and you're looking around like that. I got a little Irish humor in me. I gotta tell my Irish jokes. I got one. I don't know, my nieces, they didn't go for it that good, so maybe it's not as funny as I think it is, but I know this guy, that he has a wart on the end of his nose. I never knew he had a wart on the end of his nose when I first met him, because I met him and he didn't have a wart on the end of his nose. But he had a girlfriend, and they moved, and they rented the house in back of me, and then he found out that he could buy it off for $30,000 or something like that. I should have bought it when she wanted to sell both properties to me for $15,000 a piece. Oh man, you look back, I don't want to be greedy. I'd be letting relatives probably stay in them. They wouldn't pay me rent. All I'd have is a headache. So I didn't go for it. I says, I don't want to be rich. I just want to be able to be happy, survive. No, I wasn't greedy like that. I had a lot of deals I could have got into. State land deals, too. I could have got into real cheap. But God, he didn't make me aware. He didn't want me to get involved. He didn't want me out in that neck of the woods. He wanted me to stay right where I was. So I didn't have a desire. I could have picked it up for a song, too. I ran into a lot of properties that I could have picked up for a song. Like the property out in back of my house is 50 acres up there. I could have picked up when I was 30 years old, just moved here, off the guy on a land contract deal, $30,000. And I paid him $300 a month until it was paid off. I could have had 50 acres of land with oaks so big you'd have to have 2 or 3 people joining hands. That's how big and round they were on the top of that hill, and there was hundreds of them. And that was a gold mine up there. And God offered it to me when I was 30 years old. Or the devil offered it to me, because God didn't say yes, so I imagine the devil tried to get me in on that one. Because what happened was I went to the town and I said to him, can I log that? If I buy it, can I take the timber off of it? They said, oh no, it's in the city limits, you can't do that. No logging in the city limits. Wait till you find out what happens. So I said, okay, I passed it up. I told the guy, no, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to take and buy your property. Okay, well, if you change your mind, give me a call. Next thing I knew, some guy from Okefenokee, wherever, bought his property. And he's going to log it. And he told the town he's going to log it. Because he went down and get a permit to log it. He said, no, you can't. Well, he said, it's my property. You don't tell me what I can do with my property. And he was defiant like that. And he was very wealthy, too. He had done this probably hundreds of times. We caught him. He was up there chopping all the timber down, and the guy down the end of the corner, his old man. I bought his truck, by the way, after he died. I bought his new truck. It was only a year old. His daughter sold it to me. Before he died, I bought it. His daughter and he. And he gave me the pictures of what this property looked like when there's no trees on that hill in the back. It's underwater 3 feet, 4 feet. When it's a bad rainstorm, it floods, the whole area floods. He had pictures of it. And I'm sure that the town has pictures of it too, because they have pictures of disasters, stuff that happened. And right here where I'm sitting right now would be underwater if they took all the trees off the hill in the back of me. It's an aquifer, this whole thing. And there's underground springs. They were going to build up on the hill, but they found out that 2 foot down, 3 foot down, and hit springs. Just no way you can build on top of a mountain that has springs running all over the place. So that was the plans are what were made, but nobody ever went through with them. And who knows what they're going to do in the future if they come up with a way of blocking that water so you can live on top of a spring. Or maybe it's just a way to keep people away from it, because all that's moving up on that hill is very wealthy people. And they all have wells sucking down into the ground. They're very wealthy. They have the best. And everybody else is hoodwinked. I got hoodwinked out of that property. The guy came in and bought it for a song like I was going to do. He just paid for it cash. There was probably, I would estimate, $200,000 to $250,000 oak up on top of that hill. There was hundreds of trees. I can remember a rows of 50 from one end of the property to the other end, 50 acres. And they were all planted for some reason. Over the years and years and years. The squirrels were all over the place, oaks. I mean, it was beautiful. This guy came in and ripped it all down with the trucks and everything and practically gave the finger to the town. Try and stop me. And he was cutting it down and it was coming our way. And he was taking everything that was worth money down. And he had piles of just baby trees. Piles of them. I don't know what he was going to do with them. He was going to strip them out. And I said, no way, I got a house down here. And my wife and I got in the rain, ran from house to house to get signatures to stop this maniac, because nobody else is doing, and that's what I had to do. Policemen came with guns, told him to get off the hill, ordered him off the hill. That's what they had to do to this guy. But he had most of the lumber off the top. He had all of his money. All the other stuff was he's just going to strip the hill and get what else he can pilfer the land for, and then give it to the town, and they'll say, "Oh, he gave us that." Yeah, stripped. He took and ripped all the wealth out of it, and then gave you the property. What are you going to do with it? You can't build on it. Not unless they come up with some type of a concrete system that block out underwater springs, keep your house from shifting all over the place. That's tough to build on one. You'd have to have some type of a system that very wealthy people, and that's who's going up there. Very wealthy people. I'm talking about $1 million homes up there. So it went on that he said defiantly, "I'm taking my lumber." He did it, and I monitored him. I watched him. He had 2 streets over from me. He was using that street. I think it was White Street or one of those streets down there. He was using that street to get up on a slope up. See, the hill went up, and then it sloped over. And that was the closest place to the main road for the hill to start sloping so he could have his trucks go up the hill and pick up the lumber, and then the trucks come back down off the hill. But man, when they came back down off that hill, they came down off that hill like 30, 40 miles an hour. They didn't crawl down the hill. They just rumbled down that damn hill. And there's kids in the front yard with these big trucks with logs on them, rolling past. He don't give a dang. He made its own little gutter for the water to flow after you put the road in. You had to have some place to divert the water because the water was coming down the side of the mountain in ditch that was built, designed by the county to stop the water from coming down on our properties. That's the only thing that was between the mountain and up and my property is that ditch. And it's all grown over. If that mountain sprung a leak somehow or anything and it's come pouring down, it's coming right down on us. That ditch isn't going to divert anything. It's just going to go its own little eddy and go with the force behind it and just come on down the street. You should see it when it pours rain here. My backyard is 3 inches deep in water or more. I've got pictures of it. And to try to tell the people in the town about that, they do their best. You know, they've been here quite a few times trying to divert the water from going in my front yard, which I built my driveway up now. Next time my driveway goes in, it's going to be higher than the road. And I've got one I'm putting in right now. It's all dirt, but it's on the other property, and it's that, they call it bank run or something like that. It turns into concrete like. I mean, plants don't even grow out of it. You can go along with a weed whacker and clear it right up. It's like a concrete road. Now I got to spread that all out. I just had it delivered yesterday. I'm 74 years old almost. I've got to spread around 10 tons of concrete dirt. Because once it's, I got the honeycomb down. The honeycomb is, picture a honeycomb where the bees go to. They deposit their honey. Well, picture that, 9 feet by 28 feet sections, spread out, 9 feet wide, 28 feet long. Some of them are only 17, 18 feet long. Depends on who you buy them from. I buy the honeycomb, and I bought 4 sections, 9 by 17. And I'm doing that part of my driveway because I have a platform, and I'm going to pour concrete on it in bags, and then I'm going to hit it with a hose. I don't know, I figure I probably need maybe 50 bags. But it's a lot cheaper than the guy who quoted me. He wants to put my driveway in 160 feet from the road to the back of my house after the footer is put in, right up to the back of the house so I can pick up lumber, do whatever I want. If I build something, I can put it in my truck, drive to the back of the house, take it out of the wood shop, put it in the truck. This is what I've got planned. I'm planning like I'm living another 70 years, and who knows? My eyebrows are still black. Who knows? No, I'm not counting myself out. I said, oh, dear God, I says, I served you for 70 years. I went through thick and thin. We did it all. I says, can we go 70 where it's just you and I, Holy Family, and whoever you invite? I'd like to try to do that. What could we do to the world? What could I do to the world? Could I make a difference? If I became famous, people came and watched my films. How to make this, how to make that in a wood shop. How do you make a wood shop? How do you write a song? That's what I'd like to be known for too. How did he write his songs? And you can go from day one. I just wrote one from day one. And there's 12 practices in there somewhat. In other longer films, like 3.5-hour films, I have a practice in the middle of it. But you don't know that unless you watch the film. Then you can watch the practice. Unless you know how to skim through and pick out me playing the guitar. Okay. I'm not only playing the guitar, I'm playing the harmonica, I'm singing, and I'm playing acoustics. I play the pongo, which is a tambourine pongo-like instrument, and I have a foot pedal, tambourine, and I have another high-top pongo with bells hooked to it, and I get a little groovy sound out of this beat. I'm going to demonstrate it because I'm in the middle of writing a song right now, and you guys are going to be able to see one, song two, practices now. Until I get enough so I can take and make it. Now I'm a little groggy because I got up and I'm still tired. I didn't get enough sleep. I think I got 2.5 hours all night long, 2.5 hours. So I'm a little groggy. Plus I'm on medication too because I get up and I got to take my back medication. I mean, my right leg was set on fire, and I'm telling you, like somebody sprayed it with some type of a agent that catches on fire as soon as a match is lit, because that's what my leg feels like. That's how advanced the pain gets. It makes it so you want to stand on your feet. Oh, you're not gonna sit down. You're just gonna stand. Okay, have this pain then. And man, wow, your legs turn on fire. On fire. Put the lighter fluid on them and light them back. That's just the way they feel. Suffer. The suffering of servants. We all suffer, don't we? Some of us more than others. Some of us have sinned more than others still have. You know, what goes around comes around is what I believe. If you do on the others, if you have them do unto you, but what you do unto others is what will be done unto you. There's another way of looking at it. And it's not a negative way. It's a positive way. Myself, I like to be positive as much as I can. But sometimes when the laws of the United States are broken, I gotta speak up. Because that's the only thing I got. I mean, I give everything else. I sacrificed my brain and my heart and everything else in Vietnam for my country. I even castrated myself to join the service. Half castration. There's stories about that. You watch the films, and I'll guarantee you, one of them, I can have you rolling on the ground in laughter. What happened to me with the caveman doctors. Caveman doctors. Guys that you wake up and your leg is tied with a 2x4, and there's a string going from a 2x4 into your scrotum, and it's going through the testicle that they're trying to pull down from where it was. Because you have an undescended testicle, and the service won't take undescended testicle. I had 2 testicles. So I wake up and all this pain and agony, and I look down and I see what's going on. I can't believe what's going on. There's doctors that do this to you. If I would have waited and had the service done, I would still have 2 testicles. And now I'm who goose the moose. Horns in the tree, but who goose the moose? That's me. One hung. Saint One hung. I make a joke out of it because that's what happens. I look here and how can that guy talk about himself like that? Isn't he embarrassed? Embarrassed about what? I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. You want to know the truth? The truth is I'm telling the truth. Loving God every day? Huh? Who does that? I do. Can you raise your hand too? Do you? When God says, all those who love me, raise your hand. Will you be able to raise your hand without God saying, you don't love me, what are you raising your hand for? He knows who loves him. He just wants everybody else to see who loves him. So if you love God with your heart, soul, and mind, and you live according to His Word, then you will be saved and live forever. The kingdom of God is yours. And what a surprise. You're going to say, oh, God, just what I had to go through was nothing compared to what you have for us now. What I see you, how I see you. You're here with me, just like my best friend. You talk to me. I talk back. Psychiatrists, there was a team, and oh, we got a very serious case of multi-personalities here. I'm writing it down. That's no good. We can't have it. He can't. You know, making judgments and all that. But that ain't gonna happen to me. I'm a veteran. I'm a United States veteran from a war, and I sacrificed my life. They could have had me, for sure. There were lots of situations that I could have been done on. Well done. And I tell you about them in my video. There's a lot of friendly fire in the world. People aren't aware of it. I mean, there's friendly fire right in your church. People. They don't have any intentions of hurting you physically, but they'll rip you apart mentally, spiritually, and think they're doing it for the Lord because they're testing you to see if you can endure it or not. I don't want to be tested wherever I go. Jesus, God, have mercy on me. Every place I go, they want to observe me and see if I'm worthy enough to hang out with them or what. That happened to me with the Franciscans, Third Order. There were some people in there that heard about me and heard about my past life. This is not, I'm not a prophet here. This is my hometown. You know, everybody knows about me and what I did. There's lots of stories. I explain why I did it and the way it looked to everybody. And some of it's true, the way it looked. But not all of it. The reason why I was on the street corner is because I was kicked out of the house. No place to go. Didn't have a dime. Underage, couldn't get a job until you're 16. I had to lie to get a job. I got a job. My first job, McDonald's hamburger stand. No? What was the name of that place? Up on Carol's hamburger stand. I made milkshakes. That was my first job. And I had to lie my age to get it so I can get some money. Where else am I going to get money? Knock on people's doors and tell them how good I was at cutting lawn? Oh, I'm sorry, I already have mine cut. I got it, I'll take it, okay. And then when you do find somebody that can afford to pay you, they want to pay you $1/4 to mow their yard. You're that age. You know, you're at that age where they see, get my money's worth from this little young buck. I'll give him enough to go buy a dozen cookies. He shovels my sidewalk. The kid thinks a dozen cookies? What? I go to the baker's back then, a dozen cookies was 39 cents, 40 cents. And I got 50 cents for shoveling the sidewalk. So I had enough money for penny bubble gum or Tootsie Rolls or something like that. Maybe a kite. I could buy a kite for 10 cents back then. I got string I don't need. I'm rationalizing the whole situation right now because I'm reliving it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Because I go with the Spirit. I don't have any skit about anything. I bare my heart, and the Holy Spirit, I believe, digs down and starts churning stuff up. Oh, here. It shakes off that. Shakes it off. Let's use this. Here, talk about that. I got a lot of stuff stored. It's all over the place. If you want to see chaos organized, don't come to my house. Because all there is here is chaos. And my wife goes nuts over it too. She doesn't like it like that. And I got it. It's slowly coming about as I give her each little area for herself, and then she feels more comfortable. Right now, she's got the whole bedroom. It's all hers. I don't sleep in the bedroom anymore. I can't. She snores, and I do too. And when I want to sleep, I only get 2.5, 3 hours, and I can't do it if she's snoring. So I got to be off of my own little show, which I don't care. I love couches. I'm a coucher. Sometimes I sleep in a bed. I feel more comfortable sleeping on a couch because my back, I can lay it up against something, and I can lay on my side that way on a pillow. Oh, I go right to sleep. Wham! I'm out. But I have to go into her private room now because I gave her that room. The room that I built the cathedral ceiling in, I gave her that as a prayer room. But I said to her, I says, I'm giving you everything, but I'm not kicked out. I'm just 50-50 here. I mean, if I want to come in here and use this, sit down and be on the computer, I can allow to be able to do that. I'm not going to be told, no, get out of my room. I'm not going to do that. And if you're going to do that, I'm going to do something against it, so you can't do that. Because then you're going to make a war. And I don't want to have a war with my wife over a thing. I want to love her. I want to give her everything she wants. Not have a war of hate. Hey, get out of my room. What are you doing over here? What are you looking through? In my house that I built with a pick and a shovel and a wheelbarrow. Telling me to get out of her space. And I go through that. And what do I have to do? I have to forgive. And I have to forget. Because if I dwell on it, I start hating and I start getting really boisterous. Sometimes I throw things. And I do my own damage because I'm the one that has to clean it up. Sometimes it gets so frustrating I throw things. So there's my sin. I have that sin and I pray about it. As soon as I do it, I pray over it. I don't say, well, I'll do this and I'll pray over it. No. I don't do that. If I do something that's wrong and spontaneous, I'll pray over it with the act of contrition. Oh my God, I'm heartily sorry for having offended you, and I detest all my sins because of your just punishment, but most of all because I've offended you, my God, who had all good and deserving of all my love. I firmly resolve with the help of your grace to confess my sins, to do penance, and to avoid the near occasions of sin. Near occasions of sin. And that means your imagination. That's why you can't enter heaven with the stain of sin on your soul. Because if you have it and you imagine about it, it will bloom again. And if it blooms again, Jesus says, and you dwell on it, it's like committing it in the flesh. If you sin in your heart, it's just like going and doing it in the flesh. That's what Jesus said. So we got to fight that type of temptation. And how do you do that? You surrender. You do the surrender novena. You look it up, the surrender novena. When I go on my music tour, I'm planning on just a little small one. I'm planning on going up to the Marians and singing some songs up there. I have a little setup. I just hook up I don't care where I am. Wherever they say I can be. I want to sing some songs. Who knows? I get up there and there's 3,000 people waiting for me. Who knows? I'm only going to sit a half a dozen songs. I'm not going to sit there and sing my brains out. I'm not that good. But I do have favorite songs I want to share with people, and they're all my originals. And I do have a couple of Carrie Landry songs that I like. Whatever happened to Carrie Landry, I don't know. I pray for him, though. He had a message in my day. I sang all of his songs. I know probably all of Carrie Landry's songs that were popular. I don't know all of his songs. I know the ones that were the most popular songs that he sung at prayer meetings, mass, things like that, get-togethers. I have that background. I have a lot of songs. So I'm up to 45 minutes now. I think I'm going to get some libation and then plan what I'm going to do with that wood. This wood I've got. I'm making shelves. I'm going to put it up for an auction on it. Each shelf that I get, I'm going to put up for auction. And then when it reaches the price that I think is fair, I'll take it. So I don't know. I just want to get enough money to put those water wells in and save them little babies down there. So I'm doing this thing with the Assumption Lab. It's the Blessed Mother. It's a program. I'm going to put that in there. And I'm going to put in my Sacred Heart Novena prayer, along with a card. And the card will have a picture of Jesus. These are for people that make donations to my program. I'm going to make a nice little package, and I hope to have a CD that I can stick in there also. I can make them cheap, probably. Compared to the donations, whatever the donations are, I'll total up what I had to spend on the cards and stuff, and I'll include that in the cost of making the fund work where I can get donations. Now, I don't know about what a company could do with a situation like this once I develop it myself and I got a company that knew how to distribute it, get lots of donations. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those poor little children down in Kenya not to be eaten by the crocs anymore, and to have fresh water. Good God, you don't know what's in that water. That water has turds floating in it. I saw pictures of it as I fly over those areas with my 65-inch YouTube TV. You know, I go Kenya, fly over Kenya, and I go there and they tell you everything about Kenya. And you fly over and you see this and that. Well, I know a little bit about Kenya. And right now, I'm trying to raise money to keep kids out of the middle of that river. It's a drought, so the river's down, but there's a lot of game in that river. Other than just crocodiles, there's other things in that river that are dangerous. I mean, some of the places you can't go and wash anymore because it's so polluted. You know, pooled areas and stuff like that, they get polluted. So we're trying to, I'd like to see a fresh water well made out of PVC pipe going down 40 feet right next to the river. I don't know what the land rights are, or where you could put one. Is it considered, if you put the water well inside the river, down 40 feet? In other words, the river is neutral. It's a waterway. So they can't control that. So wherever you put a water well in a waterway, instead of the children going out in the middle of the river and the crocs watching every move they make, and one day says, well, I'll hold my breath. next time it's that time of the day, and I can hear them coming down the road, I'll go over there, sink down and wait for him. And when he goes out there, I'll rattle. And dinner tonight. That's how they think. Imagine that. Imagine. I had to. This is a picture that I got off of something. I'm not going to show you the name of the book or anything like that. I mean, we're talking about things that look like longer beaks than that, with more teeth. Okay? More teeth and longer beaks, grabbing our children. 100 of them a year. And there's nothing we can do about them because they're protected, they're endangered. How can you endanger? I mean, they can make those crocodiles grow any place. Get them out of there around where the kids are. You know, I don't know what their whole purpose is down there. They want the land, scare all the river people off the river, so pick it up for a chunk of change and make a resort out of it. Have everybody come and look how poor people live. But you get to live like a king. You can look with your binoculars into the villages and stuff. Who knows? I wouldn't walk around there. Good guy, they told me if I went swimming in the river in the Philippines, Subic Bay, that if I took and dove into that river like they were doing, I'd have to get a series of 30 shots, approximately, for all the diseases and everything that's in that river. We live a sheltered life, people. I mean, I have a pool out there right now. It's chlorinated just right. I'm going to go in it soon. As soon as I work up a sweat. I want to cool down. I'm waiting for my nephew to come. Good God, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know when he's going to come, but he was supposed to come today. Of course, he said he was going to come another day, and he didn't come either. I don't know. He gets too much on his plate. Hey, do you remember you were going to come over here and help me set that up? Blah, 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 blah. He'll probably say, well, if he wants me to really come over, he'll give me a call. He's got my number. No, that's what I got. No, anyways. Say, lovey, next time you hear me, it might be my new song. Right now I've got the beat and I've got the harmonica. Now I got to put the lead in, and then I got to put the drums in on top of everything. My percussion. Yeah.